All right, I'm taking my new Camino backpack, the Atmos 50, and my new Ultra Lone Peak shoes out on the trail today. Walking along the American River near Folsom, California. Looking like a very nice day. It's in the 50s. Rain last night. I was actually kind of hoping it would rain today because I wanted to try out my whole system, but that's all right. I'll take a beautiful day, I suppose. So I decided on the Lone Peak Mids RSM, which is basically their rain, snow, mud shoe, but they go up and cover the ankle, which I've tried before and didn't really like that much. But I've kind of convinced myself that given the muddy conditions that the Camino is often in, I really just don't want mud like seeping into my shoes. So rather than go with a heavyweight mountain boot, I'm just going to go with the lightweight trail shoe, but one that covers the ankle. Not so much for ankle support or anything, which I don't really think is needed, but one that will just keep the water and mud from splashing in. So this is kind of cool. This is actually an area of the American River where they train for kayak racing. And a lot of it happens right over here. You can see way up there. That is Nimbus Dam, and the bridge rising up next to it, or just beyond it, is Hazel Avenue. This trail is so cool. You'd never guess it was like right next to a freeway. So at this point, I have definitely soaked the shoes. It's not raining right now, but it rained last night. And there are some pretty serious puddles here along this trail. The last puddle I went through got up to the lace holes. So if mud is going to get in, it's going to get in on this hike. So far, I don't feel any moisture inside the shoes. They're a tad warm, and I really mean that by a tad. Obviously I'm hiking, so the feet are going to warm up. Yeah, they're not as cool as the mesh version, as expected. I don't feel the breeze going through them the way I do with the mesh version. But I also don't feel gross, disgusting mud going through them either. Example. So, I will take a degree, maybe 2 of warmth, if it means that I don't have to walk in mud all day. Sacramento Aquatic Center. Trail continues over there after you go up this big bridge over here, which I'm about to embark on. So my buddy Chris and I, when we were teenagers, thought we'd be all cool and get up inside here and see if we could, you know, maybe find a way across the bridge. Once we got up there, what we didn't realize though was that Chris was hanging on to something above his head while he looked down the little tunnel that I'll show you in a second. And I looked up and realized that what he was hanging off of was the grating that held the bridge together at a joint, so that when it moves on these weird roller things, it could flex a little bit, and cars were coming by, and I said, "Chris, get your hand down," and he pulled his hand down just as a semi rolled over the top. So my buddy Chris has 10 fingers today because of me. You're welcome, man. Now that's sidewalk now, but it wasn't back in the day. They increased that. That used to be the road right there. But anyway, if that door opened, you can actually ride this pipe all the way across this bridge. We never did though, in case the police ever ask. Oh, check it out. This is the Pioneer Express Trail. This is the one that I did my first long hike of my training time on, except I started way up in Auburn. Certainly did not make it here. So this is actually a really cool trail system out here that we have. It's the American River. It goes all the way down to downtown Sacramento, and it goes all the way up to Folsom Lake. Pretty awesome. I've actually been here when the water was nearly up to the trail on the other side. All these little islands were submerged. All you can see is just the tops of the trees. Yeah, when that dam is open, this whole thing becomes a big raging river. Pretty awesome. When this flooded the last time, I was standing right where those people were, and all that was a big rapid. No, this is not Folsom Prison. This is just Nimbus Dam, post 9/11. Gosh, I probably haven't been out on this path walking since, man, middle school, maybe high school. Pretty much biked all the time once I got in high school, but in middle school, before I could drive, and I wasn't biking as much, my buddy Chris and I, who I mentioned in the previous section, used to come out here all the time. He lived fairly close by, and we could just walk up to this area. We used to come out here and do what we called maneuvers, like in the military. We'd get as much camo on as we could, and we would just come out here and try to see how far we could move up through the trail without anybody seeing us, which was not always easy. Sometimes it meant getting in the water, hiding in bushes behind rocks, finding weird paths here and there. We had a lot of fun, and we were 14-year-old boys, and Red Dawn had just come out, so don't judge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I have snuck through that swampy area before. You know, just in case the commies ever attacked, I was gonna be ready. All right, well, it's been 4 miles now, and the shoes feel really good. They still feel a tad warm, just like they did earlier, but they haven't really gotten any warmer since I started. Now, weather-wise, it was about 57, 58 when I left the house, so it was not what I would call warm at all, and the wind was blowing pretty good. Still is, but, you know, I've got my hiking sheen of sweat going. It's being wicked away, so I'm not really cold or hot right now. My feet are just a little bit warmer than the rest of me, but the important thing is they haven't continued to get hotter and hotter and hotter, which is good news. If this is as bad as it gets, I'm totally sold. Plus, I'm not even wearing my good hiking socks. This was kind of an unplanned adventure here today, so I've just got regular cotton socks on. So this is about as bad as it can get. And so far, I'm pretty pleased with all of the gear choices I've made today. The shoes are doing well, even though I'm wearing cotton socks. My Columbia zip down Cool Max dry shirt thing is really good, but it zips down, it vents easily, feels good. And the backpack is just fantastic. The only pressure I feel on me is the kind of pressure you would feel if you were lying down on a memory foam mattress. I've always been kind of fascinated by this area. It's right next to the river, but there's all these giant piles of river rock. Ah, I am at the Giant Hill. I don't really know what this thing is or what it's called. I've hiked to the top of it twice, I think. Once with my son when we were canoeing on the river on the other side of it. It's quite large, even amongst all the weird, large rock piles on this trail. It pretty well looms above all of them. Dang, is this like all the elevation gain on the entire trail in one spot? Hey girlie, look, it's our island. There's the bike path down there, right next to the water. And this is one of the most popular spots along the American River near Folsom. It's a big biking, rafting, kayaking launch destination. What do we have here? We came to this weird wall. Wow, they're like deadly serious here. If has ever come down around here. Bye. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. The water is actually not flowing this direction. It's being blown that direction, but it's actually flowing behind me. See, now this is just confusing. First it says, don't go in here, and now it says no stopping. Well, okay, so I guess I'm legal again as long as I don't stop. Got it. Okay, so if I get killed or maimed by a falling rock out here, no fair suing the government. It's my fault. I kicked that. That was me. That's Negro Bar right there ahead of me with the white tower thing. Okay, so I guess the falling rock thing was not quite as silly as I thought at first. But it looks like hardly any of them actually end up on the bike trail, so, you know, it's all good. Oh my gosh, what has happened here? This place is falling apart. I'm sure 90% of this is during rain and stuff. No stopping, next half mile. Well, okay. I don't know how, what am I supposed to do here? I got a ribbon that says don't go. And I got a sign that says don't stop. So I'm just gonna do the one I want to. Okay, this is getting pretty real. Holy cow. Huh. Okay, let's make this quick. Oh my, is that a climbing rope? Sure hope somebody wasn't on the other end of this thing when that happened. Man, this place is crazy. They should put up a sign or something. And that is the new bridge across the American River connecting to Folsom. Behind it is the Rainbow Bridge, which I don't know if I'll be able to zoom in enough. You can kind of see it there in the background. I will be crossing that on my way back, assuming I survive this area. Oh man, are you guys gonna make me climb a tractor? I am so totally willing to do that. Well, that was fun. Just talked to a biker who was saying that it was quite a bit worse not too long ago. Apparently there was like 8-foot high boulders on the trail. This is nuts. All right, well, this is Negro Bar Bazaar. I've never seen this place empty. It is usually just full of kayakers and paddleboarders. I've seen one guy on the river today, and that's him right there. I guess with the wind and the tide, it would be kind of a nightmare trying to paddle this, but this is just weird. It's like zombie apocalypse or something. I'm about 7.5 miles in. I've made it to Negro Bar. Time for a little bit of a treat. Took the pack off. Back feels fine. I mean, a light sheen of sweat like you would expect from hiking, but really, I mean, the shirt feels dry on the outside. So the back mesh is doing its job. The backpack is amazing. I mean, it literally just feels like I have like a lumbar pack made of memory foam and maybe a loaf of bread on each shoulder, and that's it. There's just almost no weight at all. It's been completely comfortable. The only gear failures I'm having right now are my socks. I'm getting some hot spots on my toes, which I really think is just because they're cotton socks. I'm letting everything air out. That should take care of any potential blister problems. The shoes have been fine. They don't feel uncomfortable at all. And yeah, things are going great. Coolest spots on the American River. So there's the Folsom Boulevard Bridge. Across the way there you can see this old electrical plant that Chris and I also have some interesting stories about. And then this beauty area right here, the Rainbow Bridge and the walking bridge beyond it. So pro tip, if you are ever kayaking in this area, this is a great place to put in. Once you get past the Rainbow Bridge here, you get into some nice, tall, rocky canyons. The water flow speeds up a bit and There's a lot of fun little exploration type places to go. However, if you go much further than that, you will notice a big cable across the top of the canyon, and not too far beyond the cable, a guard tower with a guard with a rifle who will shoot at you if you go past the cable. And the reason is that that is the border of Folsom Prison, made famous by Johnny Cash and Charles Manson. Some California Section 8 housing here. Here's the river, and here is Folsom Prison. Should just basically be like kind of a rundown old powerhouse that Chris and I found a way into one time in the top half where you weren't allowed to go. Now it appears to be like an entire visitor center is here, and they've made it into a complete park. Yeah, Chris and I used to do a lot of sketchy, not quite legal things, but hey, it's better than doing drugs, right? Look who went and got all fancy. So this is the town of Folsom, California. Old gold rush kind of town, still got a lot of cool old spots. Bridge. Aha! Here we go. So I am 10 miles in, actually a little over. Yeah, well, let's just call it 10 miles. I didn't actually start the all trails until I'd already gone a mile or a mile and a half, but I am feeling very good. I mean, all of the equipment, clothing, stuff that I have on, it is time to pack away the gear for the Camino and start focusing on training and saving money. Oh, there's the part of the trail where the cliff is being taken out. I remember that orange buoy. There's the wall.